Ebola is a virus. It causes a severe, often fatal illness in humans. The Ebola virus was first discovered in 1976. It was found in two simultaneous outbreaks. One outbreak was in Nzara, South Sudan. The other was in Yambuku, Democratic Republic of Congo. The virus gets its name from the Ebola River. This river is near the site of the Yambuku outbreak. Ebola is a zoonotic virus. This means it can spread from animals to humans. Ebola is a rare disease, but it is very serious. It has a high fatality rate. This means many people who get infected with Ebola will die. The virus can cause severe bleeding, organ failure, and death. Since its discovery, there have been several Ebola outbreaks. These outbreaks have mainly occurred in Central and West Africa. The largest outbreak to date occurred from 2014 to 2016. It primarily affected Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. Scientists believe that Ebola is carried by animals. Specifically, bats are thought to be the natural reservoir of the virus. This means that bats can carry the virus without showing symptoms. Other animals can also become infected with Ebola. This includes monkeys, gorillas, and chimpanzees. These animals can get the virus from coming into contact with infected bats or their bodily fluids. Ebola virus can spread from animals to humans. This is called spillover. It usually happens when a person comes into contact with the bodily fluids of an infected animal. This can include blood, saliva, urine, or feces. People can also get infected by handling or eating infected animals. For example, hunting, butchering, or preparing bushmeat can expose people to the virus. Ebola virus disease, or EVD, is a serious illness. It often leads to death if untreated. The incubation period for EVD is typically 2 to 21 days. This means that a person can be infected with the virus for up to 3 weeks before showing any symptoms. Once symptoms appear, they can be sudden and severe. They typically include fever, headache, muscle pain, fatigue, sore throat, and diarrhea. As the disease progresses, it can cause vomiting, abdominal pain, and unexplained bleeding or bruising. Ebola outbreaks often begin in remote areas. They start with a single case of animal-to-human transmission. This can go unnoticed initially. However, once the virus spreads to humans, it can quickly transmit to others. Human-to-human transmission occurs through direct contact with the bodily fluids of an infected person. This includes blood, vomit, feces, urine, saliva, sweat, and semen. The virus can also spread through contact with contaminated objects. These objects are called fomites. Examples include needles, syringes, and medical equipment. Section 6. Ebola's mode of attack. The Ebola virus attacks the body's cells. It targets immune cells in particular. These cells are responsible for fighting off infections. The virus replicates rapidly inside these cells, eventually killing them. This weakens the immune system. It makes the body vulnerable to other infections. The virus also damages blood vessels. This can cause internal bleeding and organ failure. Section 7. Battling the invisible enemy. There is no cure for Ebola virus disease. However, there are treatments available that can improve a person's chances of survival. These treatments include supportive care, such as providing fluids and electrolytes, and experimental therapies. Survival rates for EVD vary depending on several factors. These factors include the strain of the virus, the quality of healthcare, and the patient's overall health. Section 8. Prevention, our first line of defense. Preventing Ebola outbreaks is crucial. This involves a multi-pronged approach. One important aspect is raising awareness about the virus. Educating people about how Ebola spreads and how to protect themselves is essential. Another key element is controlling the animal population. This includes monitoring bat populations and reducing human contact with wildlife. Section 9. A global health threat. Ebola virus disease is a serious global health threat. While outbreaks are rare, they can have devastating consequences. The virus's high fatality rate, coupled with its potential for rapid spread, makes it a major concern for public health officials worldwide. Continued research, surveillance, and public health preparedness are essential for preventing and controlling future outbreaks.